Hi there, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ilana from the website and blog lifewellcruise.com, and today I am going to be talking about the 7 big mistakes you could be making when booking your future cruise for 2021. Now, I say this because, of course, there can be mistakes that we can all be making when booking our cruises, like just regularly. But these are beyond the regular ones, and this is really for during this time, which is still during the pandemic. So let's get started on the mistakes that you might be making and how you can avoid them. So the first thing is booking a cruise that has a cancellation fee. Now, in some cases, this might mean that you're actually booking with an agency or a travel agent that is charging a cancellation fee. Now, there are some good reasons why some agents are charging cancellation fees, or sometimes there might even be a membership fee that you're paying, to be part of a cruise club or something like that. And the reality is travel agents right now, they are working, and if they are canceling cruises or the cruises are canceled before final payment, they actually don't really make any money. So it kind of makes sense that they do want to be compensated. But that being said, the cruise line doesn't charge a fee, and the majority of travel agents don't charge a fee anyway. It's really part of their service. So do not get charged a fee. Avoid that. Make sure that it's in the fine print that there is no $25 or $50 cancellation or administrative fee. Don't have any of that. The second mistake that people are making is booking too early in 2021. Now, I should say, it doesn't mean that I think that you shouldn't book for early 2021, like January or February, or even for the end of December for that matter. But it does mean that you understand, hopefully, that there is some amount of risk that that cruise may not happen. At the same time, you'll probably want to see, depending on the itinerary, what the likelihood of that happening will be. So if you really want to avoid having those cancellations, having those rescheduled cruises, book something for a little bit later in 2021. So perhaps March or April, or even in the summer of 2021. There is a good chance, depending on where you live and depending on what cruise you're thinking of going on, there's a good chance that things are going to be either back to normal or close to normal by midway through 2021, and certainly by the end of 2021. The third thing is booking with non-refundable deposits. Now, I never like non-refundable deposits because I personally really like having flexibility. However, right now, I really don't like them, and I just don't suggest them. Things are unfortunately very fluid, and we just don't know where things will be in a few months. So we don't know what the itineraries will be. We don't know what the protocols will even fully be. So it really isn't a great idea to get absolutely locked into your cruise by having a non-refundable deposit. So have flexibility and make sure that you do book a non-refundable deposit. Most of the time, the price difference might be $100 or less. The fourth mistake is one that I often see, unfortunately, happen, which is people not taking travel insurance. Now, even on a cruise that is during this time still needs travel insurance, you're going to want to make sure that you take probably a cancel for any reason type of protection. And the reason for that is because even though the cruise lines are offering a cruise with confidence program, which means that you can cancel your cruise up until 48 hours most of the time before the cruise, that will come back to you as a future cruise credit. And there are some limitations to that and some restrictions. So if you want to have the flexibility and get your money back, then you really do need a cancel for any reason type of protection for your cruise. So I still have 3 more points for you, but before I do, I did want to draw your attention to this little piece of trivia over here. And it does say, maybe you've already read it and you've already answered below. If you haven't, please do so. Name a cruise ship that has been sold or scrapped during this pandemic. So let me know in the comments below. And while you're at it, please give this video a like if you found it helpful or enjoyable in any way. And please consider subscribing to the channel. You can do that now. Okay, let's keep going. Number 5. Now, number 5, I think, is probably not a mistake. It's just the reality of what we're living. And that is booking a cruise before we know what the onboard protocols are going to be. The reality is we can't know 100% until the cruise lines tell us exactly how things are going to be working when cruising does resume, at least in North America. Of course, we have a good idea because of cruises that have restarted in Europe, so we can keep watching those and see what's going on and see how comfortable we are. But things are certainly going to change and evolve. So if this is something that makes you uncomfortable, if some of the protocols are maybe more than you want to have while you're on a vacation, maybe hold off booking a little while. Or if you're within the deposit period, put your deposit on that cruise, but maybe hold off before making that final payment. Number 6, booking a new cruise ship. Now, I don't think this is a mistake. I think it's a great thing to book a new cruise ship. But if you are booking a cruise ship that hasn't yet sailed, you have to go into it with some amount of flexibility because things may change. We already know that some of the new cruise ship builds have been delayed. That can happen a little bit further. We just don't know yet, unfortunately. So if you have booked a cruise on a new ship, do have it in mind that you'll have to be a little bit flexible so that you're not disappointed, just in case. Number 7. Now for the last tip, I really wanted to make sure that I gave you a tip that would be valuable, not only for right now, but even for future cruises. And that is that a lot of people make the mistake of booking a cruise, especially if they're booking it far in advance. And then after that, not really keeping an eye on the pricing or the promotions. And this is even if you have a travel agent. Your travel agent, chances are, won't be looking specifically for your sailing all the time. That's just the reality. Maybe you're very lucky, but most of the time they really won't be. So it is up to you to keep an eye on that pricing. So as long as you're before final payment, most of the time you can actually have your pricing reduced by your travel agent or by the cruise line, as long as you're before final payment. So do remember that things that you may not be able to get is if you booked early on and maybe you had a certain promotion where you had perks included, like a beverage package or gratuities, you might see the pricing is lower 2 or 3 months down the line, and it may not include those things. So you won't get the better price plus the perks that you had when you first booked. So definitely make sure that you keep an eye on that. But sometimes as the sailing gets closer, the prices go down. And I have the feeling that now we may see some pricing go down a little bit in the few months before cruising does sail. So keep an eye on those bookings that you have made maybe within the last few months for cruises in 2021. So I hope that this has been helpful. Please let me know in the comments below if you have any additional tips that can really help people out for booking their 2021 cruises. Now, if you haven't answered the trivia question yet, please do that now. What cruise ship or cruise ships, if you like, have been scrapped or sold this year during the pandemic? And if you haven't had a chance yet to like this video, please do so now, and please consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and happy future cruising.